A very warm welcome to all the students of Thakur Vidya Mandir High School and Junior College. Keeping up with our motto, let learning be a joy and teaching a pleasure. Here we are with remote teaching and learning process to bridge the gap. Happy learning students! A warm welcome to all the students of Standard 7th. Today we are going to study a new topic in English. I request you all to take out your English textbook and get ready. I also request you all to please take a pencil so that whenever we go through the entire chapter or a poem, I will be giving you all difficult words and its meanings. So let's begin. Hello students, I am Miss Jazel De Silva, teacher of Thakur Vidya Mandir High School and Junior College, will be teaching you all this topic. The topic that we are going to study today in English, that is chasing the sea monster, and this particular topic, a prose topic, chasing the sea monster, is adapted from 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea by Jules Verne. So let's begin with today's prose chapter, that is chasing the sea monster. I request and I hope you all are ready with your pencils. Before we start with today's chapter, let's know more about this author, Jules Verne. So Jules Verne, he was a French writer. He was the father of science fiction. He wrote about a lot of rockets, space and submarines when such things were unknown to the people who were living during his times. And this particular lesson is one of the part, one of the passage that he has written in his novel, and he describes how the people on the ship think about submarine and try to chase and hunt it. And this particular person, Jules Verne, he was born on 8th Feb 1828 and he died on 24th March 1950. He was a French author whose writing laid much of the foundation of the modern science fictions. He wrote various novels such as Journey to the Center of the Earth, From the Earth to the Moon, and 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. This was his great works from the science fiction, and today we are going to study one of its adaptation from his novel Chasing the Sea Monster. So we'll start with our today's topic, that is Chasing the Sea Monster. Please open your English textbook to page number 43, and I hope you all have a pencil to take down the words, difficult words and its meanings. So before we start with this particular topic, chasing the sea monster, this particular prose chapter is adapted from 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea is a particular novel, and from that novel one particular passage is there talking about this chasing the sea monster, and this particular novel is written by Jules Verne, and this particular topic is telling us about, the narrator is telling us about how the passengers, how the people on the ship think about submarines during those time, and it is describing the people on the ship thinking about how submarines, what exactly are submarines, how they look like, and they are trying to chase it. The people on the ship are trying to chase the submarine, and in the end this topic is going to be very funny, and this particular prose chapter is a science fictional. So let's get started. Our frigate wanted to go back, but the unearthly animal came at us with a speed double our own. The meaning of frigate means small, speedy ships used in wars. And unearthly means strange, not like those found on earth. So, the author's ship, the narrator's ship, wanted to go back, but they were ready to go back home. But what happened? Got they found some unearthly animal over there, and that unearthly animal, they felt as if that unearthly animal is coming towards them with a great speed, double than that particular ship they were on. We gasped, more stunned than afraid. We stood mute and motionless. We gasped means they were shocked. They were shocked to see such a particular unearthly animal coming towards them. They were shocked, they were very stunned, they were more than afraid, and they all stood mute and motionless. The animal caught up with us, played with us. It made a full circle around the frigate and wrapped us in the sheet of electricity that were like luminous dust. At any instant it would have dashed against our ship. So when the people on the ship saw this unearthly animal coming towards them, they were very scared, they were very afraid, they were mute, they were motionless, they were scared, they were not knowing what exactly to do, what where to go exactly. And they felt as if that particular animal has caught us. That particular animal is playing with us, and that particular animal in the sea was taking full round and round around the frigate, around their particular ship, and as if they felt that that particular ship is trapped. They were scared, and sheets of electricity that were like luminous dust. Luminous means bright, full of light. So that particular animal was full of light, full. It was looking very much bright, and as if they were feeling that that particular people on the ship were feeling as if they are trapped now, because that particular unearthly animal was taking full circles round their frigate. At any instant, it would have dashed against their ship. So they were so scared, because now since that particular the animal was taking full circles, all full circles around that particular ship that those people were in. The ship was floating with a lot of force, because that much speed that particular unearthly animal was taking circles. And since the waves were going up and down, so the people on the ship thought that that particular unearthly animal will definitely dash their ship. Meanwhile, I was surprised to see that our warship was fleeing, not fighting. I commented on this to Commander Farragut. His face, ordinary, so emotionless, showed great astonish, astonishment. So, what happened meanwhile? All this was happening, and all people were very much surprised. They thought, "What? Who is this particular animal that has come in the sea, and what exactly is that?" They were very much scared. Uh, they were not fighting, but they were just getting scared, and uh, they did not have anything to. They were like motionless. It was difficult for them to think exactly what is happening over there. And then I commanded, that means the narrator, he commented on this to Commander Fragut. Now, who is this commander? The commander is one who is the main in charge of the ship. So his name is Commander Fragut. So the particular narrator, the narrator's name will be in the next paragraph. So the narrator's name is Professor Aronnax. So he went near this commander Fragut, and he said, he was telling him that what action should we take, what will we do about all this that is happening. But his face, ordinary, was so emotionless and showed great astonishment. The meaning of astonishment means surprised. Okay, so even that particular Commander Fragut, was very much shocked, and he was also speechless. He did not know what exactly to say. So as I mentioned, the meaning of astonishment, with a great surprise. Even he was surprised seeing all this about unearthly animal that had come towards them, and he was playing with us. And even the people on the ship thought that as if that particular animal is going to dash us, and our ship is going to break. So let's see in the next paragraph whether what actions they take. We will move ahead and see. So now we shall move ahead to our next paragraph. So this particular topic, chasing the sea monster. Now we met two people. The first one is Commander Farragut, and the second one, that is the narrator, and his name is Professor Aronnax. So Professor Aronnax, he answered me, I don't know what kind of fearsome creature I am up against, and I don't want my frigate running foolish risk in all this darkness. Besides, how should we attack this unknown creature? How should we defend ourselves against it? Let's wait for day night and then we will play a different role. So now the professor, the narrator, that particular commander, he answered me and he said that I don't know. He's saying that I don't know what exactly this creature is, and I don't want my people who are on the ship foolingly risking their lives in this particular darkness. And beside, how should we attack this unknown creature, and how should we defend against that particular creature is a big question, and therefore so that particular commander, because the commander is one who is giving orders, and therefore the commander said that let's wait for day night and then we will play a different role. Fearsome, the meaning of fearsome means scary, frightening. Okay, the whole crew stayed on their feet all night long. Crew means the people working on the ship, that those are known as crew. No one even thought of sleeping. Unable to compete with the monster, our frigate, the Abraham Lincoln, slowed down. For its part, the animal mimicked the frigate, simply rode with waves but did not leave the field of battle. So what happened? The whole crew who was on that frigate, on that particular ship, they did not even thought of sleeping that night. They were continuously thinking. They were scared because they were unaware about the next move that particular the animal will take. Even they were thoughtless. They were unable to think, and they were unable to compete with the monster speed. That particular unearthly animal, the particular ship, our frigate, was unable to compete against the monster speed. Okay, our frigate, the Abraham Lincoln, slowed down. So the frigate's name was Abraham Lincoln. It slowed down. For its part, the animals mimicked the frigate, simply rode with the waves but did not leave the field battle. So if, for example, our frigate, that is the Abraham Lincoln, when Abraham Lincoln ship, the name of our frigate is Abraham Lincoln, when that particular ship slows down, even that unearthly animal used to slow. Whenever our ship used to go very much fast close towards them, that particular monster ship used to move very much in a monster speed. So it was showing as if the monster, the animal that was there in that sea, as if that another animal was mimicking our frigate, and but it was not leaving the battle. He was copying whatever our frigate was doing. However, near midnight it disappeared, or to use a more appropriate expression, it went out like a huge glowworm. Had it fled from us? The meaning of fled means scared. We did not know and were filled with fear and hope at the same time. So nearly midnight. So midnight starts at 12 a.m. So around near midnight, they thought that that particular animal is disappeared because he is not making any signs. He is not moving from one place to any other place. So that people on the frigate, people on the ship thought that that particular animal must he must have got scared from us and he went. But still, the people on the ship, they were still in that fear. We did not know and were filled with fear and hope at the same time. The meaning of glowworm means if you all visit beaches and everything, you all will see this insect like glowworm where it shines very much bright. That is known as glowworm. So they thought that now that particular unearthly animal was looking very bright. Okay, so now suddenly that everything got disappeared. So they thought that since the lights were not being seen, So that particular people on the ship thought that that particular unearthly animal must have disappeared. But at 12:53, a defending hiss could be heard, resembling the sound made by a water spout expelled with tremendous intensity. So around 12:53, again they got to heard a defending hiss. They could they could hear, and as if the sound was made by a water spout expelled with tremendous intensity. By then, Commander Farragut, Ned Land, and I means Professor Aronnax. Professor Aronnax is narrating all this entire story. So these three of them were on the afterdeck, peering eagerly into the darkness. So the meaning of afterdeck means um, if you ever visit a huge ship, a cruise, you all will see a ship will always have a back space, open space where people can walk, they can do, they can enjoy, they can be there. So that is known as after deck. So Commander Farragut, Needland, and Professor Aronnax were there over there. They were eagerly seeing what is exactly happening there, what they can do, and they were thinking about the solutions. Tell me, Needland, isn't that the noise of cetaceans? Cetaceans means uh, it is like a marine animal, like a whale. So they are discussing that. I think so. That is a whale that is there making when they sprout water from their blowholes. So this commander, professor, and the Needland thought that it can be a whale, and because since it is splashing water, so they thought for some time that it can be a whale. Then let's see the very noise. So, but this one way louder. So there can be no mistake. There is definitely a whale lurking in our waters. Lurking means hiding. So then they finally thought that maybe it is a whale only. So then they thought for some time that the very noise, sir, but this one is way louder. So they thought that the whale cannot do such a huge voice. They can't do so much of noise. So there can be no mistake, and there's definitely a wave lurking that is hiding in our waters. So still they are confused whether it's a whale or whether it's some other animal. So in the start till here we see that they wanted to go back home, but they saw an unearthly animal that was coming towards them, as if it will try to dash them, and that particular unearthly animal was taking rounds and rounds, and as if that particular unearthly animal will definitely dash them. Then we get to see that all were scared, all were speechless, all were thoughtless. They were thinking what exactly to do. Then we see we have these three characters, that is commander, then Needland, and the professor. The professor is one who is narrating the entire story. Also we get to know that the commander is the one who commands whatever action that will be taken on the ship. So the commander tells the people were asking what action should we take. So the commander is telling that we won't take any action, we'll wait till daylight. I don't want our people to risk in the night, so we won't do anything for now. We will just wait till daylight. Then our frigate name, our ship's name was Abraham Lincoln. So if we come in a, and whatever moves we are doing, our ship does. Similarly, actions were mimicked by the unearthly animal. So suddenly in the midnight, they felt that the unearthly animal has disappeared. But around 12:53 again, they heard a sound, and then all these three people, the commander, Nidland, and the professor, were thinking what exactly to do. Whether that particular animal is a whale, or some other animal, they were thinking, they are discussing, and then they thought that it will be definitely a whale that is hiding in a water. Near 2 o'clock in the morning, the core of the light reappeared, 5 miles away from the Abraham Lincoln. So around 2 o'clock in the morning, the core of the light, that means the unearthly animal's light, again reappeared 5 miles away from our frigate, that is the Abraham Lincoln. We stayed on alert until daylight, getting ready for our action. Whaling gear, that means equipment used to hunt the whales, was set up along the railings. Our chief officer loaded the blunderbusses, which can launch harpoons as far as a mile, and a long duck guns with exploding bullets that can wound and kill even the most powerful animals. So all these people, all the chief officers or the commander has given them the permission. So all these people are ready with their guns, with their blunderbusses, and they are getting ready to shoot that particular whale. Whatever bullets, whatever explosions they were having, that was so powerful that it will even kill the most powerful animal. So blunderbusses means they are guns like duck guns and everything, and launch harpoons means missiles. Okay. Ned Land was content to sharpen his harpoon. So Ned Land was he was knowing all about it, and he was ready, and he was sharpening his missile, a dreadful weapon in his hand. At 6 o'clock, day began to break, and with the dawn early light, the animal's electric glow disappeared. At 7 o'clock, a very tense, dense morning mist spread around us. Our best spy glasses were unable to pierce it. The outcome disappeared, disappointment and angry. So now what happened is that now all these people on the ship on our frigate, that is the Abraham Lincoln's frigate, they were all ready to kill this particular animal, that is the whale. They were getting ready with all this equipments to hunt this whale. So now Ned Land also is very much ready to use sharpening all his equipments, and he was ready to burst it. So around 6 o'clock, what happens is that the day breaks, and with a dawn with early light, and the animal's electric glow disappeared. So that particular animal, that particular whale's light disappeared. Now, when it becomes when it gets, so what happens early in the morning when the sun rises, automatically the light of the whale, it got disappeared, it just went, it there was no electric glow at all, it just disappeared. And around at 7 o'clock, a very dense morning mist spread around us. Mist means a fog type, a fog. So around 7 o'clock, everywhere around the ship fog was there. So, and therefore it was very difficult for the people on the ship to exactly see where that particular whale is, and they were not knowing, because whenever we travel in whenever those people who are on ship and everything, who are on this cruise and everything, mostly during winter season, and most of the time the surrounding area around them is like mist, it is very much foggy, and therefore they were even on our particular ship, that is the frigate, the Abraham Lincoln's frigate, we the people on that particular ship were not able, they were not able to see uh, where is that particular whale, and they were having their best spy glasses. Spy glasses means secret, you all can see secret glasses they were wearing, but still they were unable to see it where exactly that particular whale is there. And the result, the outcome of all this was disappointment and angry. They were ready with all the equipments, but because of that fog, they were unable to see where that particular animal is hiding, and they were unaware to see where exactly that particular animal is there. So now we shall move ahead. So what happened in the previous passage, we saw that at 6 o'clock, the entire, the animal, that unearthly animal, the light of that particular animal went. At 7 o'clock, the entire place in the sea was filled with fog and mist. And now at 8 o'clock, the mist rolled away and the horizon grew wider and clear. So at around 6 o'clock, the mist rolled, it went away, and now the people on the ship, the crew people on the ship could see clearly. Suddenly, Ned Land's voice would be heard. There's the thing in the question, a stern to port. So now they suddenly heard Ned Land saying something, and everyone went there. The harpooners shouted. Every eye looked towards the point indicated. So Ned Land was showing a specific point where he saw that that animal is over there, and therefore he shouted, and everyone paid attention to that particular point only. Every eye looked towards the point indicated. There's a mile and a half from the frigate. A long blackish body emerged a meter above the waves. So they could see a blackish body emerged over there, and it is like half a mile away from our frigate. So they could see this blackish body emerging a meter above the waves. Queering violently. Queering violently means shivering. Its tail was creating a considerable current. So as the animal was moving, as the animal was moving his tail, it was giving some kind of considerable current that was coming out from that particular animal, and the people on the ship could feel it. The crew were waiting impatiently for the orders from their leaders. The latter, after careful observing the animal, ordered the engineer to sail full steam towards the animal. So the entire crew, the entire people on the ship, they thought that we will wait for they were very impatient. The patientness was almost gone. They were so much into this. They wanted to kill the animals somehow or the other. They were very much impatient, and they were waiting for the orders. Even though they were ready with the equipment, but still the final order has to be given by the commander, and therefore they were just waiting for the last instructions, last permission to just kill that particular animal. The later, after carefully observing the animal, the order came from the engineer to sail with full speed towards the animal. So finally they did not get the order to shoot, but they got the order to come with this full speed towards the animal. But still yet they are still confused whether that particular animal is a whale or some other animal. Three cheers greeted this order. The hour of battle had sounded. A few moments later, the Abraham Lincoln headed straight for the animal. Unconcerned, the latter let us come near. It got up a little speed and kept its distance. So now what happens? They were ready for the battle. They all sounded, they all cheered each other. And a few moments later, our frigate, that is the Abraham Lincoln, it headed straight towards the animal, and they were unconcerned about whatever will happen. They just wanted to kill that particular unearthly animal. It got up with a little speed and it kept distance. It was having this much. It was having a quite distance between them. The chase dragged on for about 3/4 of an hour without the frigate getting any closer to the sea animal. So 1/4 is 15 minutes. So quarters means 45 minutes. So they were chasing, the chase dragged up to 45 minutes without the frigate getting any closer to the sea animal. At this rate, it was obvious that we would never catch up with it. The Abraham Lincoln gathered speed, but so did the animal. The Abraham Lincoln, that is our ship, the frigate, was gathering speed, but so was that particular animal also. As soon as we were speeding, even that particular unearthly animal was speeding, and therefore they thought that the crew ship, the people on the ship thought that we will never catch up, we will never catch this whale or any other animal. This went for the next hour. The Abraham Lincoln was now speeding so much that it was masts trebling down to their blocks. So our frigate, that is Abraham Lincoln frigate, was was so much in speed that whatever things were on our ship, whatever things was there, it was trembling, it was falling down to their blocks. So that is what is there in this particular passage. It is telling us about that our frigate was it was, whenever our frigate was coming near another animal, it was moving. So whatever action we were doing, the same way the the animal was doing. And this went for about the next hour, so maximum 2 hours. And then the people on the ship thought that now we will never get that animal. and the Abraham Lincoln was now speeding so much. Now these people on the ship was so angry that the person who was driving, who was doing, who was driving that ship was now in so much speed that whatever things was around them, all you all can say their clothes, all their things was falling down because that particular ship, that particular Abraham Lincoln ship was so much in speed. What a chase! No, I can't describe the excitement that shook my very being. Ned Land stayed at his post, harpoon in hand. Several times the animal let us approach, then just as the harpooner was about to strike, the cetacean would steal off swiftly. So now all were, they were angry, they were disappointed, they were very much confused. But as soon as they were keeping the target, as soon as they were ready to shoot that particular that particular animal, the unearthly animal or a whale, whenever they were ready to take a shoot, that time that particular whale or that particular animal or no, the animal used to just disappear and then they used to lost that particular concentration. Commander Farragut then decided to use more direct methods. Bah, he said, so that animal is faster than the Abraham Lincoln. All right, mate, man the gun in the bow. So now what happened is that now the commander said that okay, so now that particular animal is faster than Abraham Lincoln. Okay, then he said, all right, mate. Mate means assistance. Man, the gun in the bow. That means load your guns, get ready to take a position. Our forecastle cannon was immediately loaded and leveled. The Carnot fired a shot, but his shell passed some feet above the cetacean, which stayed half a mile off. So they were ready, and then the commander gave the command of shooting. But as soon as they fired a shot, the shell passed. So it was just so much about the. They could see that particular whale is over there, but they just missed the shot. It just took off over to somebody with better aim. The commander shouted, at $500 to a man who can pierce the infernal beast. So now, finally, now commander had given the permission to shoot. They even gave a fire shot, but still they missed it. They could not kill that particular whale or that particular unearthly animal. So then the commander shouted that I will give $500 to a person who will have this perfect aim and will kill that particular animal. So now we will see who is approaching, who is ready to do that. Calm of eye, cool of feature, an old grey bearded gunner. I can see him to this day approach the cannon, put it in position and took aim for a good while. So now finally we have an old man. He is not old. He is he's having this old grey beard and with this cool feature and very calm eyes, and he said I am ready to take this shot. So the cannon was ready to take for a position for a good while. There was a mighty explosion mingled with a cheer from the crew. The shell reached its target. It hit the animal but bounced off its rounded surface and vanished in the sea 2 miles out. So that particular person, he gave a good shot and people on the crew, they clapped, they cheered, but it hit the animal, but that particular gun, it it just came, it bounced back and on the rounded surface, and that particular animal, it just vanished into the sea 2 miles out. Oh drat, said the old gunner in his anger, that monster must be covered with 6-inch armor plate. That means that particular gunner, he was so angry that he gave a good shot, but what happened, as soon as he gave a shot, that bullet, it just bounced back, and therefore that particular person said that that monster must be covered with 6-inch armor plate. Armor plate means something that is protecting the metal covering. The hunt was on again. Hour after hour went by without the animal showing the least sign of weariness. However, it must be said that we too struggled on tirelessly. So even the hunt was on now. Now an hour went. They were chasing the animal. Animal was playing with them. So whenever the Abraham Lincoln was in speed, even that particular animal was in speed. So now they came to know that that particular animal is having a protection of metals covering, and therefore whatever shoot they will do, it won't harm that particular animal. So even that particular people on the crew was so tired and they were helpless. Okay. At 10:50 in the evening, that electric light reappeared 3 miles away from the frigate, just as clear and intense as the night before. So when it was morning, that time the light disappeared, but around 10:50 in the evening, so you all will get to know that that particular insect, that particular animal was only shining in the night, was only able to give light in the night. The monster seemed motionless. Was it asleep? Perhaps wearily from its workday, just riding with the waves. This was our chance, and the commander frigate decided to take full advantage of it. He gave his orders. So now we see that the cruise ship found it that the monster is motionless, so they thought that maybe the monster must be sleeping because of so much of work that they did today chasing each other. So the commander thought that this is the correct chance, so just take this chance and let's kill this monster. So finally the commander gave he decided to take full advantage of it, and he gave his orders. The frigate approached without making a sound, stopped 2 cable lengths from the animal. A profound silence breathed over the deck. We are not 100 feet from the blazing core of light whose glow grew stronger and dazzled in the eyes. So we see 2 cable length means you all can say 220 meters or 2 meters depending upon the standard use. So cable length, it basically means a distance, a particular distance of the ship from that particular object. So we see that the frigate was approaching towards that monster, but it was not making any sound at all. It was so much slow, and it was in this complete silence, and we were not 100 feet from the blazing core of light whose glow grew stronger and dazzled with eyes. That means now they could see that particular monster clearly with their open eyes. They were surprised to see, they were even shocked. Their eyes was full with glitters because that light, because they were approaching so much close to that particular monster. So now the commander and the people on the ship thought that now we are going to chase it for sure. We are going to kill it because they were so close to that particular animal. So now let's see in the last paragraph whether they are killing the animal or what tricks they use. Just then, leaning over the forecastle railing, I saw Ned Land below me, brandishing the dreadful harpoon. Barely 20 feet separated him from the motionless animal. All at once, his arm shot forward and the harpoon was launched. I heard the weapon making a ringing sound as if it had hit some hard distance. The electric light suddenly went off, and 2 enormous waterspouts crashed onto the deck of the frigate, racing like a torrent from one end of the ship to other, toppling crewmen's breaking spare mast and yardarms from their lashing. A hideous collision occurred, and thrown over the rail with no time to catch hold of it, I was hurled into the sea. What a sorrowful story, what a sorrowful ending we see. what happened is that in the end we see the Ned was ready. He was ready with this dreadful harpoon, and all people were ready with all their equipments. And at once his arms shouted forward, and the harpoon was launched. When as soon as the harpoon was launched, they heard a weapon making a ringing sound as if it hit something a hard substance, and the electric light was there on that particular on the animal. It just went out, and two enormous water spouts crashed out onto the deck of the frigate. So as soon as the harpoon was launched, the electricity light that was on that particular unworthy animal, it just went out, and all the water, it just the the water in such a, one can say, in such speed that the harpoon was launched. So it just gave a blast, and whatever water was there, the entire water came in a frigate. And in the end we see that from one end of the ship to other, dropping crewmen, breaking spare mast and yardarms from their lashing, a hideous collisions. That means we see a big collision happened. The ship just broke and thrown over the rail with no time to catch hold of it. I was hurled into the sea. So our frigate, the Abraham Lincoln frigate, was broken. It broke into two pieces because that was the speed. As soon as the harpoon was launched on that particular unearthly animal, it it bounced back, because that was, even though the lights went off, but still it bounced back. It gave us a water splash. All the water came, and with that full speed, uh, Abraham ship, it broke. It was in two pieces. It was a big collision that happened, and it threw all over the rain with no time to catch each other. Everyone was into the sea. So that is what happened in the story. It was telling us in short about a sea monster that the people were chasing, and in the end, we see the Abraham Lincoln ship was broken into pieces. So there was on the mission of killing or hunting the dangerous sea monster throughout it, and therefore we see this was the collision that happened on their ship. So it just went in the sea. In case if you all have missed it, we studied about a prose chapter in English, that is Chasing the Sea Monster, and this chapter is adapted by 20,000 Leagues. Okay, 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea by Jules Verne. And we see about this particular author named Jules Verne, who was a French writer, and he was a father of science fiction. And he wrote a lot about submarines and rockets and everything, when all these things were not known by the people around, people staying during those times. And this particular lesson is a part of his novel, that is 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. So this particular chapter is just one part of this novel, 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. And this particular chapter is talking about, the narrator will describing the people on the ship thinking about the submarine and try to chase and hunt it. So in this particular chapter, we saw how this frigate, the Abraham Lincoln ship, was trying to chase the monster, the unearthly animal that had been on that particular sea. And also we see how they were trying to chase, and they were waiting for the commander's um, permission to have a fight against that particular or the animal. And in the end we see that how, with this explosions, we see how the frigate, Abraham Lincoln ship, was broken into pieces, because that was the force that came as soon as they launched a attack on that particular another animal, that is a submarine. But they were thinking that that is an animal, but that particular submarine looks like an animal, it looks like a whale, so they thought that it will be a whale over there. But as soon as they shot, as soon as they launched an attack, automatically it bounced back because it was having this hard covering steel over that particular submarine. So they thought that maybe the whale is having the covering, but they were not knowing that that particular that is not an animal, but it is a submarine. And therefore as soon as they launched the attack, it bounced back and water just splashed it, and the ship, the frigate, the Abraham Lincoln, was in two pieces and all the men were into the sea. That is what is there in this particular chapter. Thank you students, stay safe, stay healthy.